All right, mic check, mic check. Let's see. Let's see if this is working. Mic check, mic check. This is my first live broadcast. Web hosting live. If anybody's in the chat and can at least acknowledge that you hear me, that would be great. And we'll get started in just a couple minutes. Oh boy, I've been talking all this time and nobody's been able to hear me. I think that's the truth. I'm going to start up in a second if that was the case. Let me go back to the keynote here. Thank you. No volume now. Okay, thank you, everybody. Okay, everybody, we're gonna start all over. There was no volume on any of that. My apologies. Oh boy, I've been talking all this time and nobody's been able to hear me. Yes, that is the case. Yep. All right, so we're gonna start all over again. Thank you, LL, for letting me know. I've been talking and nobody's been able to hear me. So we're going to start all over. And here we go. Welcome to the first evening of Web Hosting Live. Obviously, we need to, obviously, this is the first time I've done a live broadcast. So please bear with me. Thank you so much for joining. I'm John Keegan. I manage a WordPress managed hosting provider called Press Harbor. But we're not here to plug. We're here to teach tonight. We're here to educate. We're here to learn how to improve the performance of your WordPress website. We're here to learn how to do a migration. And thank you guys for joining. I know there's only a few folks here, but hopefully we get a great recording out of this. I'll probably have to cut the first 5 minutes where I didn't have the mic on. So, but let's get started. We're going to live migrate my site. Let's take a look at my site over here. My site. Give me 1 second here. I will take care of this over here. Apologies, everyone. That's the way it goes, right? You know, we're just going to go old school audio. All right. All right, folks. My apologies. That should work a lot nicer. Thanks again. Appreciate it. All right. So, just quick recap one more time. Thank you all for your patience. We are going to live migrate johnkeegan.org, which is a site that I created many, many years ago and have not updated in at least 9 years, as you can see. So there could be some quirks in how we do this migration, but let's let's get started. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to put them into the chat, and that would be amazing. Let me just see if I can get that to show me the chat. And we'll just move on for a moment. All right. So here we are. This is my very old site, and I'm going to show you how to migrate a WordPress site. Let's get this out of the picture. And here we go. All right, so the first things that we're going to talk about are some tips that you need, that you need to know about migrating a WordPress site. All right, first one. First one is about name servers. If you're going to change your name servers, which can be common if you host your website at, let's say you host at Bluehost. You might use Bluehost's name servers, and it's one.bluehost.com. I don't know if that's actually the name servers that they use or not, but if you're hosting at your if you're using the name servers of your existing host, you should change the name servers a couple of days before you plan to do a migration. This is when you run into a problem if you don't do that, because first of all, you're migrating away from that host, and you'll be migrating away from their name servers eventually. So migrate your name servers before you migrate your site. If you're smart, and I know you are, you'll lower the TTLs of your DNS records a few days before you plan to make a migration. And TTL is time to live, and that's how long a record will be valid. Um, and that is where DNS propagation comes into play, right? So whenever if you've done a migration before and you have had issues with DNS propagation, then this is how you solve that. Move your name servers a few days before, and then even better, use a CDN. Use Cloudflare with proxy enabled. Why? Because then when you are making your actual migration, and this is how it's going to work tonight. We're going to the johnkeegan.org site is on Cloudflare CDN, and we are going to show you exactly how that works and why it's so fantastic. Thanks, Bob. I appreciate it. Yep. You hear me now? If you guys don't hear me, just let me know. So appreciate that. So if you're going to if you're going to do your migration, I highly recommend being on a CDN before you do your migration. Enable the proxy, and then what happens, and the reason that's so fantastic is because when you want to do your migration, you are simply changing the origin address in the CDN. The end user is always going to use the same, see the same DNS records. The CDN is the only thing that changes things internally, right? They can switch the origin in seconds. I think Cloudflare can do it in 5 seconds. So not only does it enable you to not have to worry about DNS propagation, it also allows you allows the switch to happen in seconds. I think Cloudflare can do it in 5 or 10 seconds or something like that. And it also allows you to be able to do a rollback in seconds by just changing the origin record at the CDN. So that's one of the reasons why. And then once we mentioned before that you want to lower your TTL records. If you're not using a CDN, you want to lower your TTL records prior to your migration. And this is what will allow that DNS propagation to happen in a very short amount of time, right? So if you go to your DNS provider a few days before your migration, you lower the TTLs of your DNS records to a minute or 2 minutes. What that means is that the folks out there on the internet that go and say, oh, they type in www.johnkeegan.org, and boom, the DNS comes back and says, oh, that's over here at this IP address. Oh, and that record is only valid for another minute. So if you ask me again, I'm going to have to check to see if that's still valid. So that's one way to reduce the propagation time of a DNS change. So those are my top tips. Number one, if you take away nothing from this broadcast, from this stream here, take away the fact that DNS propagation can completely be eliminated by using a CDN and changing your origin. So tonight we're gonna, in just a few minutes, we're gonna get started migrating my site from a Plesk server to a WP Cloud based platform that we have at Press Harbor. WP Cloud is Automatic's offering to agencies and hosting providers as a back end. It's very similar to WordPress VIP level quality. And so the things that we're going to need to make this happen, we're going to obviously need the WordPress admin access on both the source and the target. So welcome if you're just joining us. This is the first time we're doing a web hosting live educational session, and the topic is how to do a migration. And we're going to migrate my very old WordPress site. My WordPress site back when we used to call them blogs. So to prepare, and I've got all this set up. So I'm not going to, this should go pretty quickly if everything works out correctly. Murphy willing. We need WordPress admin on the source on the original site. And we need WordPress administrative access on the new site that we're going to migrate to. And we're going to need an SSH account that works for both an SSH account on the source and an SSH account on the target. And typically, if you have an SSH account, that enables SFTP, the Secure File Transfer Protocol. So if we only have SFTP, we can probably do everything we need. SSH is even more amazing because it allows us to do things like rsync, which is a super fast way for us to transfer large amounts of files. So if you have a large media library, I highly suggest that you have SSH access. Of course, you're going to also need the ability to change DNS. And if you're using a CDN, you're probably going to need to change some records in your CDN. So I'll take a quick pause there. If anybody's got any questions, put them in the chat. If not, I'm going to talk about the plan here. The plan here is, well, first, prior to the stream tonight, I exported the SQL, I exported the database from the original site. And just to step back a minute and think about a WordPress migration, the only thing that we're really doing is in a WordPress migration is we're moving files. The files that we're going to need to move are the uploads directory, the theme directory, the plugins directory, maybe the MU directory, and maybe some special files that you have throughout your WordPress site. And then you're going to need to move one file and one additional file, and that would be the exported MySQL database that you exported from the source, and you're going to need to move that file also to the target. And there's a couple of different ways you can do that. You can, tonight we're going to actually export it and move it out of the file system and copy it via SFTP into the new into the target, and then we're going to import it at the target. Another way you could do that is you could use phpMyAdmin to export to your local machine, and then just use either maybe use phpMyAdmin on the target machine to just do an import. So, but everything's about files, right? Whether and your database ultimately is transferred or moved as a file. So I've exported the SQL from the source machine already, and so next, what we're going to do here, and this should. I wonder how quickly this is going to take. I'm very curious. It's 9:19 right now. We had a bit of a late start. My apologies, everybody. But we're going to copy the files from the source to the target. The johnkeegan.org site that we're going to do tonight is a very small site, only a couple hundred megabytes of uploads. So it's not going to take a long time to actually do the file transfer. At Press Harbor, we have sites that have as many as 300 gigabytes in their media library. Those would take a lot longer to do the file transfer. I don't think we would be able to do it in a live stream. So Once we've copied the files, and tonight we're going to copy the uploads via rsync, via an SSH access. We're going to rsync into the target. We're going to just simply use SFTP to copy the plugins, the themes, and the database. And then I'm going to show you a cool way to test this new site, right? So the problem or the challenge, I would say, when you do a migration is, okay, you've copied everything over and it's all in the new site. How do you test the site before you take it live, right? You don't want to just change your DNS and then find out, oh, well, I moved all this stuff and now I got a broken site. You want to know ahead of time whether this stuff works. And maybe it's not going to work tonight, right? Maybe I move everything over and it doesn't work. And I have to say, thanks, everybody, it didn't work. I got to go back to the drawing board and figure out why it didn't work. And that happens. That happens to professionals all the time. Hopefully not very often, but it does happen. And that's why you need a good rollback plan. What happens if it doesn't go as well as I had hoped? And to go back to our comment about using an origin server under a CDN, that's why you do that, because it makes rolling back and going through the original configuration a snap. So once we've tested it, then we'll make the DNS changes, and hopefully everybody sees my site on the new host. It'll still look just as bad as it looked before, but it will be faster and more performant. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. And then the last thing I'm going to talk about before you just dig right into it, what are the tools we're going to use tonight? What are the tools that you would need to do a migration? So tonight I'm going to show you a cool tool called Gas Mask, which is a tool that lets you edit your hosts file, which allows you to do what's called spoofing DNS. And spoofing DNS means that you trick your computer into thinking that a site, a domain name, is located at a place where it is not, right? So to preview the site, right before we actually make the world see it at the new location, we're going to make our local computer see it at the new location. And that's how we're going to test everything. For SFTP, I like Transmit and CyberDuck. Tonight, I've got Transmit loaded up for both our source and target. SSH, rsync are valuable command line tools that will allow you to migrate large sites, especially useful to migrate large upload libraries. WPCLI is the command line interface for WordPress, and at this point, I think almost all modern hosts offer WPCLI. Of course, we do on our new WP cloud-based platform, and PHP MyAdmin. I think the slash, maybe it should be a dash. I forget how you actually write that out. PHP MyAdmin. We're not going to use it tonight, but it would be very useful if you needed to export a database or import a database. And if you didn't want to use any of these tools, I think some really easy ways to migrate a site are with plugins like Updraft Plus or WP Migrate. And WP Migrate is a paid plugin, and so is Updraft Plus, but they both have free versions. I'm particular to Updraft Plus. I think it's a great tool, and I use it all the time. But you also need to know what happens when the tool doesn't do everything you need it to. For some reason tonight I was reminded of that Anna Karenina quote, the Tolstoy quote, where I think the quote is, every happy family is alike and every unhappy family is unhappy in their own way. I think I got it right or close enough, but I would say that every easy WordPress site migration is easy in the same way, and every difficult migration is difficult in its own way. So while Updraft Plus is excellent for those happy easy migrations. It is very difficult to solve everything, and that's why you need to kind of have a good basis or foundation and understanding of what happens in a WordPress site migration, so that you can catch all those edge cases, I would say. So, all right, so let's go over to my screen over here where we're going to start doing this migration. Okay, it's a little later than we thought, 9:25. Apologies, everybody, for that rough start. Should be able to make it a little easier next time. All right, so what we're going to do now, like I said, we have SSH access, and this window is our window for our source site for SSH. And that's SSH. We are on the command line on that. I'm going to get this one out of the way for now. And then we also have that same site over here. Hit a reload. And that is this, you can see, that is the same site that we're looking at right here. This is the SFTP, I guess, view of the same files. Now over here we have our target. Let's go here. And this is our target site. And this is the new site at Press Harbor on the WP Cloud platform from Automatic. And this is the SFTP version of that same file system, really. That's just two ways to look at the same file system. So our plan here is, let's see, we've already exported the SQL from the source. The next thing we're going to do, let's do the first thing, is going to be, let's move the files. Let's move the uploads. That's usually the hardest part. I'm going to show you guys a cool tool. And if you give me 1 second, go over here. Let's see here. All right. So I've written a couple of scripts that help us out in doing migrations. The first one is this PHP audit script. And all this does is walk your uploads directory and let you know how many images in that directory are. Just to show everybody that we're all doing this in real time. I'll put my little mug over here. So this is a bash script. It's very simple, very safe. If you send me an email, I'll share it with you. It can work on, I would think, almost any web hosting site. And the cool thing that this script does is tells you not only the size of your uploads directory, your media library, it's also known as. In the file system, we see it as WP content/uploads. When you're in the administration panel of a WordPress site, that's the media library, pretty much. Remember that WordPress takes your uploaded image and then cuts several thumbnails of it. 3, 4. I've seen sites that cut 20 or 30 thumbnails of every image that's uploaded because they want very precise graphics in various locations. So in my site, from my very small site, we see it's got about 194 megabytes of images, and a very small fraction of those are the thumbnail copies. In some sites, I've seen as much as 50% of the entire media library or uploads directory is actually comprised of thumbnail images. And the reason that's important is we don't always need to copy over the thumbnail images. A lot of the modern platforms allow us to retain the source image only, and then through PHP magic and or server magic, we can dynamically create thumbnails on the fly. So we don't need to save thumbnails into the file system. This is something that was required in the earliest versions of WordPress. And depending on your host, you still may need to do it. Or maybe perhaps for legacy purposes, you need to keep the copies of those images for some reason. But a lot of modern hosts now allow you to be able to upload the source image and dynamically on the fly have a server or a PHP process or even a Cloudflare can in a couple of different using a couple of different techniques, you can actually have the CDN simply do those transformations on the fly. So I've done my audit here. This is just trying to audit and prep. Obviously I looked at this days ago. This is, you wouldn't do this, you wouldn't surprise yourself if you're doing a live migration by checking this number out right before you're about to migrate. This is something you would do as you prepare to make your plan for a migration. So in this case, today we're going to copy over all those thumbnails to the target machine. Again, if you had a very large media library, you might want to leave those thumbnails behind if your host can support dynamic thumbnail resizing. So with all that said, the next thing we're going to do is we're actually just going to do an upload of the media library. You're going to enjoy this, I think. All right, so what I'm showing you right now is the target machine, and let's take a look at the target machine. Oops. You know what, I will actually go over here and reconnect to that target machine. Here we go, htdocs, that's where we need to go. WP content, uploads. Okay, so what I wanted to show you is that the uploads directory is empty. Okay, so we're on the target machine. I don't have anything in here, but over here on our source machine, we've got a whole lot of files in here, right? So our goal is to copy these over to this. Now, if I had a very large media library, I need to use the technique I'm about to use. This is a small media library. You're probably asking yourself, well, John, why don't you just go like this and copy and drag them over here? Isn't that possible? And the answer is yes, absolutely, that's possible. And we're going to do that later for plugins and themes. But tonight, we're just going to show you the very cool technique of using the script that we call the upload sync. So we've got a script here, and again, if anybody wants a copy of this, I'm happy to share it. It is super easy way to copy your uploads directory from one site to another. And I'm going to show you the parameters right here. PHP upload sync, the source, we pass the source is the directory. And the only thing else that we're going to pass is the username on the target site. By default, we know in this script assumes we're moving to Press Harbor, so all we need is the username. But if you can use the script to move to anywhere. You're just going to need to pass it the host name of where you're trying to move the files to. So I'm going to hit go. And it's going to ask me for my password, so let me copy that out. All right, so it lets us know it's got 232 files to transfer, and it's going to skip the thumbnails, okay? And we're going to do this twice. First time, we're going to skip the thumbnails to show you how that works, and the second time, I'm going to add the thumbnails back in. So I'm going to say, yes, I'd like to proceed. Wow, there we go. Well, look how fast that is. Boom, sync complete. Oh, that was so sweet. So, all right, so now let's see. Did those files get in the target? Refresh. And there they are. How about that? All right. So I don't know what time we started tonight, but all right, we've got our first step complete. But I'm going to show you a cool thing we can do here is we can add a parameter here, and that's keep thumbnails. And that'll now we're going to rerun this, and we're going to push the thumbnails through. That over here you can see that there are thumbnails that did not get transferred, right? We only transferred the scaled image and the original source image. We didn't transfer over any of these thumbnails. But let's say we wanted to keep the thumbnails. Let's run that. Unknown argument keep thumbnails. Oh, because I need 2 dashes. I don't know why. I'll admit that. Did I spell that wrong? Oh, all right, something will always go wrong in a demo. All right, I'll go back and figure out why that didn't work. And I think I was messing around with the script before this. So if we wanted to, we could pick these up and move them over here. We'll use that as an exercise for later. But we've got we've got our uploads, and I really do want those. So how about we just select those? We'll drag them over here. It's going to figure out which ones are missing. And there we go. I'll have to figure out what went wrong with that script. I was messing around with it a little before the stream. Probably shouldn't do that. So okay, we've got our uploads directory all taken care of. Now the next one we're going to tackle would be the themes and the plugins. We don't have any MU plugins on this site, I don't think. We'll check that in just a minute. How's everybody doing tonight on Sunday night? Still a little chilly here in New Jersey. All right, while that's happening, let's take a look. We've got a lot of plugins here. We'll get those next. All right, good, all done. Now let's go up, move our plugins over. Oh, you know what? I already did it before I tested before the stream, and I've already copied them over. So let's assume that I dragged and dropped everything over. We definitely need to do the themes. I didn't do that. So let's go move the themes over. I know we don't need all of these. And we're definitely not going to need 23, 4, or 5. None of which we have. 24, 5, or 3. So let's just move all these over. All right. While we let those move over, what is next after we copy all the files? Next is going to be copying the database. Okay, great. Let's copy it from the source to the target. The database, as I mentioned, I already exported it before the stream. So all we're going to actually have to do is move the file. Let me take a look where I put it. I put it in here, MySQL export. So once everything once all the plugin themes upload, we'll upload the exported SQL file. And in this case, I mean, there's a lot of ways to, like I said, there's a lot of ways to do an export. I exported this one with Plesk, and Plesk has a PHP MyAdmin interface built in. So I just used the built-in Plesk method to do a database dump into a SQL file. I downloaded, or Plesk allowed you to export it right into the file system. So it's right here in the source. Everybody following along? I know we got a few people in watching. Hope this is informative. Something I needed to do anyway. And really, I'm going to need to clean out some of these. These are all very old. They're probably all should just be removed. Don't do what I do. Don't leave all these old themes in your WordPress blog. If you've got themes that you're not using, just delete them. I'm doing this just as an example, and I'll be cleaning up this site afterwards. The reason I'm migrating it is I like to get back into writing. So it's time to clean up the old site. All right, this is taking a little while, but the next step we're going to do is we're going to migrate, we're going to copy the database over. And you know what, I wonder if I can, let me see here, if I can go, no, I guess not. Maybe I can. Yeah, okay, why not? Why not create a new window while this other window is doing its thing? So I created a directory called private on the new platform, and I just dragged over the database file. I think it's got to wait for these other things to copy over first. It's like watching paint dry. I know, my apologies. Watching old theme files. Raise the mic input volume. That's great. Thank you, guys. Let me see if I can raise the volume there. I don't know how. Great advice. Oh, here we go. Appreciate you. Stop audio. All right, I'm not sure if that's any better, but thank you for the feedback. We'll have to figure out how to increase the volume in the future. Let's see if there's anything I can do. Ah, that's why. All right, there we go. There you go. LL, thank you for that suggestion. I hope this is sounding a little better. Apologies to everyone. There we go. All right. What's it called when a ship goes out on its first voyage? That's a shakedown cruise. So this is our shakedown cruise. We'll make a couple of mistakes. We'll get it right next time. So these files are taking a lot longer than I expected. I don't need them. And that's really annoying. Actually, so I'll tell you what. Why don't we move on to another topic while this is happening. And I'll talk to you a little about DNS spoofing. So right now, you can see right here, this is that very old site that we're transferring, right? What I want to show you is that we have this tool here called Gas Mask. And Gas Mask is a tool that allows you to update your hosts file. And your host file is kind of a local file that allows you to override the match between a domain name and an IP address, right? Because that's what DNS does. It says, I want to go to johnkeegan.org.
Oh, okay. DNS says, oh, where is johnkeegan.org on the internet? Oh, it's at this IP address. Let me go get that and ask for that information. So gas masks allows you to say, to edit your local host file and change and override where that where your machine thinks a given site exists. Now, GasMask is just an easy tool. You can go into your slash etc slash hosts file and manually edit it. But this is an easier way to do it. So I'm going to go in over here and I'm going to add in the IP addresses where it's going to be located in the future. Those are the IP addresses where it's going to be located. Now I'm going to quit this browser because browsers like to hold on to DNS cache. Oh, and I see it looks like everything copied, but we'll continue on this topic. So let's restart it now. I've now told my local computer that, hey, the johnkeegan.org is located at this other new location. All right, so let's say here. And at this other location, we haven't yet had a SSL and certificate installed, so we're going to get an error like this. It's okay to move on. And you can see at the new site, we haven't uploaded the database yet. We haven't updated the database yet. So it still is giving us the hello world that we would always get. But now we've uploaded all those old themes. We uploaded the plugins previously, and we showed you with the script how we migrated the uploads directory. So let's take a look here. We've actually copied over the file, the database file we exported. So let's go and import it. This is the cool part. All right. So let's go to SSH. We are again. We are on the we have SSH'd into the target of our migration. We're going to go into that private directory that I just uploaded that SQL export to. And we're going to use the WP CLI command line to import this SQL into our new site. Very simple commands. It's just WP DB import. And you know what? Actually, let's do the smart thing. Let's export a copy of the current database. Just in case something goes wrong, we can push this thing back into pristine condition, right? So I'm going to export that pristine version, and boom, there we go. It exported into a file. And now what we've got here is this very much smaller original version. And then we have the new version that we'd like to import. So let's just run the very simple WP-CLI command that says import my database. Done. All right, we need to run one more WP-CLI command. Let's see if LL told me that volume's any better. He probably fell asleep. He's not listening anymore. WP cache flush. What that's going to do is tell all the internal caches, hey, we've got new data. Make sure you're accessing the database directly. All right, cache was flushed. All right, so guess what we should be able to see now when we take a look at the target site. Remember, we haven't changed DNS yet. We're moving everything over, and we want to make sure that it worked before we change DNS. So let's refresh. Okay, advanced. And how about that? Okay, so now we are cooking with gas. We've been able to import the database. We're seeing some images load because I think probably because they're cached, or actually because they are already on the file system there, right? So, wow, looking good. We've moved the plugins, we moved the themes, we moved the uploads, and the database is in place. Now we go back to the Tolstoy quote, right? The Tolstoy quote is basically trying to tell us what what is unusual about this site. And I'll tell you a couple of things that are unusual about this site. Let's go to the source. So the first thing you're going to see here, normally you wouldn't see files in the file system, but this site originally was a blogware site. If anybody remembers blogware, blogware was the original WP Cloud. It was a blogging platform by Two Cows back in the 2000s, and that's where this site started. It was originally a blogware site that was converted into a WordPress site along with all of our Blog Harbor customers back around 2007, possibly, into WordPress sites when Blog Harbor became Press Harbor. And as such, that blogware platform loved to do two things. It loved to upload files into the root directory and serve them straight from the root. And the other thing it did was, what was the other? Oh, it used to have a photos directory. It had a photo uploader that uploaded everything into a directory called _photos. So these are real esoteric exceptions or edge cases. So again, every unusual website migration is unusual in its own way. However, in this case, it's going to be really simple. All we got to really do is we drag these photos over into the, no, not into WP content. We want to drag them up one level. We want to drag them over here. There we go. So that directory is going to upload. And then also let's just take these random scattered files that were actually uploaded as part of the file manager, probably, when we were on the blogware platform. We'll do that after the photos directory uploads. And that's going to be it, folks. Hopefully I can get you guys all wrapped up and out by 10. But once the photos upload, I've got a couple of extra images to upload from the root file system. And that should be it. Oh, there we go. Let's just drop these in. All right, now we should be able to test, right? So let's go back here and let's test everything. Everything should be right now. All right, so let's say here. How about some of these? All right, well, they're all working. Okay, so here are some of those images. Okay, that was from the uploads directory. These are from 19 years ago. This little girl is now not a little girl anymore. The little girl is a very amazing young lady. But these were some photos that we uploaded to that blogging platform, I guess it was. Let's see what else we got. Oh, this should be fun. We've got some interesting photos from back in the, you can see this image comes from that _photos directory that we uploaded, so it worked just fine. Anybody recognize any of these people in here? Anybody recognize that guy? He was a little young back then, wasn't he? He became a good looking as a young man. He became a even better looking as a gentleman. But I think everything looks fantastic here. Looks like everything came over just as we hoped it would. This is a post. I do see this was broken before, so it's just some old plugin that I must have used. But I'm very satisfied here. I think I'm ready to pull the trigger here and say, all right, let's make this live on the new site. And all I need to do that is to change the IP address that we have in Cloudflare as the origin. And I'm going to do that off screen. DNS records. And let's see, what is the new DNS record I need to put in? Copy, paste, DNS record. So I'm going to make this change. Let me open up one of these. Okay, so this is the live site. I'm going to take everything out of gas mask so that we're sure that we're looking at the live site. Yep, still looking at the live site. And I think, there's a couple ways we can tell that. Let's see. One way. Oh, okay. We can say tools, developer tools. We can say network. Reload the page. All right. We can see here that we're on a Plesk server. Okay. So we're on the original server now. Okay. Now, let's go make our DNS changes. Change it right now. Save. All right, save. Now in Cloudflare, I will do the obligatory cache clear, configure caching, purge everything, purge everything. All right. Oop. Now that's what's going to happen. That happens a lot when you make a DNS change. It'll take sometimes the new server a few moments to. Oh, I know why. Oh, that's great. Let me fix this up. I'm gonna do this. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the proxy off. It'll probably take a few minutes for that to take effect. I wonder if there's anything I need to do. Okay, it believes it's, here's our, just for fun, I'll show you guys our Piss Harbor panel. It was giving me an alert that the SSL wasn't ready yet, but it looks like it says it's good. Wouldn't that be funny if I couldn't get it to work? What am I missing here? What do I need to make it do? Sometimes this happens. I've seen this happen a lot of times on various platforms. What has to happen is the new site needs to see that it is now active, and then they often will have to go provision a site, an SSL on their own. So I'm not sure what is happening here. I'll give it a few more minutes and try again. But that's the process. That's migrating a site. If this was my super important site and I didn't see any SSL getting updated in the next 5 minutes, I'd probably go do a rollback. But hopefully we see this working very shortly. In the meantime, if anybody's got any questions, let me know. Because that is all I had for today. Thank you guys for joining. I hope whoever's out there enjoyed this, learned something. Let me see. Let me just check Cloudflare for a second. Feel like it's got to be something related there. Oh, yes, it is. Duh. Let me just take off the proxy on the www. There you go. All right, that should take care of it. Or two. Let's clear the cache. Well, I feel very embarrassed now, but I said that's the challenge on working on these things is that you need your rollback plan in case it doesn't work. So while I'm messing with this, to see if anybody has any questions, let me know. All right. Doesn't seem like it wants to go. And I'll probably figure it out in the next 10 minutes. I'm going to stay on, try and figure this out. SSL overview. Now, I've seen it take as long as an hour on some platforms for them to recognize that you've just moved every. Oh, okay. Here's what we can do. I think this will work. Okay, I'm pretty sure this is going to resolve it. All right, let's give it a minute. There we go. All right, so turned out that we just needed to configure in Cloudflare to have. Let me show you that configuration. Here we go. So in Cloudflare, and this happens, I've seen this happen a lot. What you want to sometimes it's for platforms that have have the ability to do their own SSL certificates. It's better to use flexible connections in Cloudflare. The connection between Cloudflare and your origin, and that enables everything to work a lot. Enables everything to work. So that's what we did. We just enabled that as the connection method, and now everything looks amazing. Let's go back to hit reload, and there it is, right? So now we've got everything working on the new platform. Yay, we did it. Okay, the last time I updated to WordPress 3.0, it's actually the WordPress version is actually updated, but you can see how old my site is. But there we go, everybody. So we did it. We did it in just about an hour. We did it in less than an hour. And now we've done a successful migration. So what do you think? Anybody have any other questions? So, I think we did that I think the actual migration took only about 30 minutes, right? I think it was 10 minutes of trouble on getting the stream live, 20 minutes of setting the stage, and then in about 30 minutes we were able to move the site. And most of that was me talking, and the last 10 or 5 minutes was me trying to figure out what Cloudflare setting to use. So as you can see, there's it's very, very straightforward to be able to migrate your WordPress site from one host to the other. And this isn't because, all of what we saw today is applicable regardless of who you use as your hosting provider. The principles are all the same. There's no difference between what we did here today. There's nothing special that we did here today that you couldn't do when you're migrating your own site. So pretty fantastic. Thanks to the few people that showed up, whoever you are, I appreciate it. Go tell your friends. I'd like to do this again. We'll talk about whatever you want to talk about when it comes to web hosting. There are a lot of topics we can talk about: caching strategies, plan sizing, capacity planning. Again, lots of strategic topics here in around web hosting. So thanks for joining me tonight. I appreciate it. I think whoever's out there are my best buddies, open to your criticism and your comment and your feedback. So thanks again, everybody. Hope you all have a fantastic night. Thank you for coming, and